What you in for, baby? What's your info? Walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? Walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? I got the mojo, I got the mojo. I got the mojo, I got the mojo, I got the mojo. Baby, don't hesitate. I wanna hesitate. Baby, don't hesitate. Call me on the top. That's a perfect timing. You got me shining like a perfect diamond. Call me on the top. That's a perfect timing. You got me shining like a perfect diamond. You think you know me? You got me lonely. You think you know me? Let's take it easy. Kick it like it's messy. Let's take it easy. Kick it like it's messy. Let's take it easy. Kick it like it's messy. Is it enough? Do you try? Call me on the daily. That's a perfect time. You got me shining like a perfect diamond. Call me on the top. That's a walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? Walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? I got the mojo, I got the mojo. I got the mojo, I got the mojo.
Well, hi!
Mojo.
What a beat! What a beat! What a motherfucking vibing beat! Holy shit! I'd just leave that playing the whole time if I could, guys. Like, honest to God. It's such a vibe. Raptor Nation, how are we living today? What is good? I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things that are good. Got something that's been a little bit bad, been playing on my mind for the past 24 hours. So, how do I address it? Okay. Here's how we go. We stick with positive vibes, right? So, guys, guy on YouTube. Channel name, Esports Talk. Guy's name is Jake Lucky. Jake doesn't know me, I don't know Jake. We've never talked, we've never added each other anywhere or anything like that. But I'll tell you what, he puts together some amazing content. Some terrific content. Reports on a lot of, well, he covers a lot of esports things. A lot of things that I myself don't have any direct sources to. So I gotta admit, guys, give credit where credit's due. I do rely on Jake Lucky from Esports Talk. I do owe him a lot, and I do rely on him a lot for his coverage of a lot of things within esports. So look, it wasn't very nice this week to come across some clips from another podcast. I'm not going to name the podcast. I'm not going to name the individual. To be honest with you, I think they'd probably get a kick out of that. But what I'm going to say is this. This person in this particular podcast, they had some pretty high-profile guests on, and they took, for no apparent reason at all, they took that opportunity to really just, say some really nasty things about Jake. that Jake really did not deserve. So, look, all that I want to say is this, guys. Negativity for the sakes of negativity is just not okay. And it's especially not okay here, like on the internet, on Twitch, on YouTube, Twitter, like whatever it might be. So, I mean, and I think we're starting to learn, guys, that it's not okay because we're seeing more and more that different platforms are putting a stopper to it. Through the week, Leafy is here. Had his channel permanently banned off YouTube, from what I understand. The thing just disappeared overnight. He didn't know what had happened. But yeah, YouTube obviously released a statement to say, yeah, look, we've removed this channel because they've repeatedly harassed somebody. 3 guesses who or why or what. And, you watch those videos, if they're still around, I'm sure they are, you can see exactly why Leafy got his ban. Well deserved. He'll say that it was comedy. There was nothing really all that funny about it. It was just mean, frankly. Whether you, like Pokemon or not, it doesn't matter. It was just all mean. And the same can be said about, what has been said about Jake through the week. I don't know where this idea has come from, actually. So the claim is that Jake Lucky is a plant from within the esports industry. Let me just dispel that really, really quickly for you guys. He isn't. He actually comes from the CSGO scene. He was a CSGO player. I don't know. I'm not even from that scene and I knew that. And if you've ever watched any of Jake's content, let me tell you, I don't even know why I'm plugging this, to be honest with you. Like I said, we don't even know each other, but it just really bothered me seeing this through the week. But yeah, if you've actually watched any of Jake's content, he covers things really, really diplomatically, like really, really fairly. He'll give the criticism where criticism's due in a constructive way. But yeah, he also, gives you some positives and everything like that where they're available. He doesn't kiss anyone's ass. He will just, give you your due. And in fact, Jake released a video yesterday, I think it was, in direct response to these comments that were made about him. And even in that video, he he very fairly assessed and encouraged his viewers to check out the podcast that on which he was being besmirched because otherwise it was actually quite informative. And yeah, the guests on there, I mean, Nadeshot was on there, for crying out loud. And credit where credit's due to Nadeshot. Nadeshot actually did sort of stop this person that was making these comments and say, well, look, actually no. So hey, respect to Nadeshot on that, guys. Seriously, I don't know. It really grinds my gears. And as I said, as we've seen with Leafy through the week, people who harass other people are getting banned off YouTube. 3 guesses where else that needs to go. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not here to clout chase, guys. I'm not going to say anyone else's name here. You don't need me to. If you really want to find out what I'm talking about, go check out Esports Talk. Go check out Jake. Throw the dude a sub. I mean, he doesn't need me to tell you guys to do that. He does really, really well, and there's a good reason for that. He puts out excellent, excellent content. So go do that. And it wouldn't be too hard for you to work out exactly who and what I'm talking about. Honest to God. But yeah, I ain't saying that name on this channel. Yikes. Other than that, guys, it's, legendary vibes here. We're always having a good time. We've got ourselves a podcast to have. We've got some just absolutely terrific guests I'm pretty keen to introduce you guys to. So, shall we jump in? Shall we jump into the Raptor Pen? See how those guys are doing? Very quickly. Hello, K-Best there. I saw you. I was just mid-rant, girl. I didn't want to interrupt what I was saying. But hey, thank you so much for the bitty bits. Really appreciate you. K-Best there. I also saw that you subbed yesterday. I come back, guys, and I watch chat back after these adventure streams. So we had an adventure stream yesterday. Thank you again for more bitty bits. Holy shit, you're just making it rain, fam. But yeah, K-Best there. I saw that you resubbed. You know what happens to resubs, K-Best there? While we're here, before we're in the pen, It's just one thing I need to say to you. I mean, a resub is the same as a sub as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, strap yourself in, Care Bear. Strap yourself in. Fus Roda! And that's for yesterday, Care Bear Stare. I didn't get to do it yesterday because I couldn't see chat or anything on the stream while we were, you know, climbing a mountain. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that if you did catch it. Anyway, let's jump in. Let's jump into this Raptor Pen and have ourselves some fun. Meet ourselves our streamers. Where can we see the streamers? We cannot. We can't see the streamers. Okay. Let me just fix this. Yikes. Ooh, all right. I know what I need to do. Okay. All right, that's not working. That's not working. We'll get this. Bear with me. No, that's not it. That is not it. Podcast, why aren't you there? Oh, yikes. Okay. Oh, here's what I want. Okay. Good. Well, okay, I'm going to need to do a display capture here. This is what I need to do. Hang on. Technical difficulties on the stream, guys. This always happens. Also, Megalorazard, thank you so much for the bitty bits. We need them, apparently, to, you know, sort out our stream issues. Oh, yikes. Slobs, what's your problem? Hey, there we go. Okay. We can see you. We can see you. Okay, now we just need to hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Wow. Wow, that was a struggle. Guys.
Was it?
That was a struggle. I don't know. Slobs just had a fit. It didn't want to see you. It was like Streamlabs was hanging out here, and it was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm pretty scared of the Raptor Pen. I don't really want that. Anyway, that's okay. We overcame it. I'm not. Yeah, like it's so strange. So strange. Oh my God! No. Okay, I just worked out what the issue was. It's the fucking YouTube bear, guys.
YouTube bear interfering.
The YouTube bear messing with my stream. Yikes. Well, Raptor Pen. We have a familiar face and we have a new face. So let's start with the new guy.
What?
Why not? Look,
Throw you in the deep end there, Coop.
Sorry? Throw you in the deep end?
Throw you in the deep end.
Well, I mean, you're just introducing yourself. I'm sure it's something that you've done at least once before. People of Raptor Nation, well, are we people? I don't know. Like, that's a whole nother can of worms. But, guys, here with us today is a true gentleman, a true, man of a house and of a Twitch channel that I absolutely highly recommend that you all go and check out. He is, of course, Gildedbranch. Gildedbranch, how are you, my guy?
I am good today. I wish I wasn't up quite so early, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, you must be hella keen. What is it, like 6 a.m. where you are?
It was when I got up. It's now 8:05, so we're not doing too bad. We've had coffee.
Oh, you're
We've had plenty
good.
of coffee.
So,
We woke up a little.
yeah, nothing like the cup of joe to get you started in the morning. It's Sunday there for you too, isn't it?
It is just turned Sunday morning, yes.
Yes, nice. Well, as somebody that lives in the future, here in Australia, it's just about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the day that you're about to live. I can tell you, it's a pretty good day. It's a pretty good day. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we do here. We Aussies, we live the day and then we can tell you how it went when you wake up. But yeah, Branch, tell us a few things about yourself. Tell us about your stream, what you actually broadcast.
We'll go back to the start. I was never a gamer growing up until I was like 10, 13-ish, and Final Fantasy 7 came out. And that was I played loads of games before that, the Sonics, the Marios, all that kind of thing. But 7 came out, and it was the first game that, like, I didn't just love it, like, you know, it stays with you, it's in the feels. And I played it for years and years and years. Tried to stream about 5 years ago. Had a really awful computer, like, hand-me-down kind of thing. And then very recently, yourself and Casio, another streamer, I started playing games with you. And thought, I can give it a go. I was like, I've never been so scared in all my life to press that live button. I was like, I had like mountains of papers in front of me of things and screens everywhere. And now it's just been reduced to game screen. That's it. There's nothing else there. After you've done it once or twice, I'm happy with anything to do it. But I stream a lot of Dark Souls and horror games. And then one day a week, I go back to retro and I stream like N64 titles.
Oh, are you serious? What do you play on the N64?
I'm just I did GoldenEye and Pokemon Snap recently.
Yes.
And on Tuesday, I'm going to start the Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow,
I've never played Master Quest.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've never played the Master Quest.
I feel ashamed to say I've only ever played Ocarina of Time through once. Reason being, and that was like when I was a kid, the first time I played it. Reason being, I just love Majora's Mask so much that's the Zelda title that I replay personally. Branch, that's great. What did you just say?
I didn't say nothing. I've never got to the end of Majora's Mask.
Oh, I hope Kasha Baby's not here.
I have it, and it's due to be played after the Master Quest, but I've never got to the end. It's a fantastic game, but it's one of them games I picked up as a kid, played a lot of it, and then life moved on, and I took a break from like gaming and stuff with real life stuff, and I just never went back to it. So it's going to be like playing the whole journey again.
That's crazy, dude. Well, do you have like a schedule? Like, do you play these games on certain days or anything? Like, I don't know. Yeah. So when's your N64 stream?
Obviously, this is UK times, but the N64 streams is Thursday nights from 9 till usually midnight, but sometimes it goes till like 1, 2. And then the other stuff, the horror and the Dark Souls, is Tuesdays. And then depending on kids and family life, I sometimes do a weekend one, which could just be a party game, a Fall Guys, a Jackbox, or whatever, like a community thing.
I dig that. Oh man, Fall Guys has got me. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Branch, and we appreciate you getting up early in the morning on a Sunday for us. Really, we do, my guy. So, somebody got access to chat. Is there a mod around? I just love a shout out in chat for Branch.
Thank you. This also explains why I'm up in the floral bedroom of my teenage daughter that I've kicked out of bed at 6 a.m. because my kids would otherwise climb all over the place.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I vibe that. Really, I do. I myself don't need to worry about children, fortunately, but the pets. which can be as bad as children sometimes. Don't you guys all know how much Pounds and Kylo love to interact with the stream? Yeah, Ssrenna, if you don't have that, I can certainly jump in and do it if you like.
There we go, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Nice. Well, I should jump in anyway because I've got someone else I need to introduce as well. And that is, of course, this lady down here on the screen. How are you today, my friend?
I am doing fantastic.
Oh, that's good to hear. I love that hoodie that you're wearing.
Of course, we love this hoodie.
That's
always
vibing.
ripping the Raptor Nation merch.
And you've gone with the sick red hair today. I'm vibing that as well. Damn.
Oh yeah. Brought the red hair back.
Love it. How's your
bring
week
it back
been?
in style before it went out of style.
Oh yeah.
My week has been very eventful. I've been playing some games, streaming a little bit, making some content for Instagram, making some new music for content creators, posting the music on YouTube, doing stuff for EGN and EGN, which are two fantastic legendary gaming companies that I'm part of. A bunch of good stuff that I've been working on.
Yeah, you are like probably one of the busiest people I know when it comes to content creation. Seriously, I don't know how you do it sometimes, but you do, and what you managed to put together is just amazing. Guys, EGN Ssrenna, go check her out. Like, by now you should already know who she is and be following her, but if you aren't, look, I'll give you this amnesty, okay? I'll give you this I won't come after you amnesty of, like, right about now. So if you jump in there and follow her channel now and, you know, whatever, even if you're a familiar face and somehow you haven't done that, it's okay. I'm just going to forgive it. I'll ignore the fact that you haven't done it already. Promise. Anyway, guys, thanks again for joining us today. We've got ourselves some crazy shit to talk about. Where should I start? I don't even know. Probably the craziest thing and the most recent update that I can think about is this. Elon Musk is trying to control our minds. Or that's what it feels like anyway. Have you guys heard of this? Have you seen this story? Recently, later this week actually, it might have only just been yesterday, Elon Musk unveiled a new invention from one of his many tech companies, and it is actually a neurochip. So it can be put in your brain, and it can report back on, you know, any neurodeficiencies that you might have. You know, the idea of it is, you know, to detect, you know, deterioration and issues. pretty awesome stuff. Also pretty hectic. Wouldn't you agree?
Well,
very hectic. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy, the whole idea. Like, I understand it, but I think it's kind of crazy putting something, like, inside of your skull, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not a fan of that just because, like, the whole thought of it just freaks me out. But, like, if it helps people, that's great. Like, the only thing that, like, I don't understand is why can't you figure out how to put it on the outside of your brain versus on the inside?
Oh, like, you know,
have like a little thing just like that sticks here, and then you kind of like take it off and you put it on like a charger thing, then just kind of put it back on, if that makes sense, without having to implant it.
Maybe like a USB stick.
Wireless charging. I saw that like he did the. Go on, sorry.
No, you can go because I was gonna read something after.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is yesterday I saw he successfully implanted it in a pig's brain. Like, originally it was supposed to go on the skull rather than beneath it, and then the fibers are in the pig's brain. And it works with regards to, like, it beeps and it notified, they connected it to the whatever controls the snout in the pig's brain. And then they fed it like kibble, and as the snout touched it, it beeped, and it works, it picks up the things.
That's terrifying.
Going under Gertrude as well. They've named the pig Gertrude.
Oh.
But where does it go? As in, I've seen slightly different, but I've seen treatment for Parkinson's where they've used deep electric shock therapy on the brain, and it's a massive difference from full-on shaking to a guy eats a bowl of very milky cereal. Now, is this chip, at the moment, it's just picking up signals, but is it intended to kind of shock the brain? How's it going to go forward? Because I'm all for prosthetics if you lose your arm or you're born with a deformity or whatever. It's great, it's improving your quality of life, but where do you stop in terms of you're electrifying someone's brain kind of thing? Or
Well,
where
I
do you
just
go from there? Where's the end point?
yeah, I have to wonder that myself. You know, if it can read signals, is it much more of a stretch for it to influence them?
That's it. I mean, it wouldn't. I presume if he can read signals from us now and block signals from us now, from a military perspective, you could potentially block pain and things like that, and that would. I know it may be sci-fi-ish, but that could be like really bad.
Well, that was something I was going to mention too. We've watched enough
I mean,
movies.
it makes sense.
Yeah, we've watched
I don't
enough
know if it's
movies.
possible. Don't get me wrong.
So the best way that
Yep.
Elon Musk described it is it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that comment.
Oh.
Oh, but I was thinking it. Elon, don't say shit like that, my guy. Oh boy.
It's on a whole different. That can stay out of here.
Elon is Elon. He just does these things and says them. But yeah, at the moment, we've got like crazies out there who are like, you know, don't get the COVID vax when it comes out because, you know, it's got microchips in it. They'll be listening to your conversations. Like, we've got people with those thoughts and they're propagating them and everything like that. And then you've got Elon with an actual brain chip. And it's like, yeah, look, guys, equate this to what you see in Black Mirror. Like,
Elon's gonna be taken too late. He can literally be the kid who never grew up, who can just, he's got the money to just throw whatever he wants.
oh,
I
you're not.
mean, he sent a car into space and brought it back down just so he could say his car's been to space. And he's done so many crazy things, but wouldn't you all if you could?
Well, that's exactly
So
right.
if
You
you
have
guys
that kind of
want,
stuff.
Yeah.
I can go into detail as to what the brain chip actually is, because I actually did some research just to find out exactly like how it worked. Because for me, right, as any normal person, and you hear something about something being implanted into someone's brain, but especially a chip, your first thought is that's crazy before hearing the context of the idea behind it.
Oh, I gotta know.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So let me see, where do I start? So basically, he said the Neuralink basically has been simplified to something that is about a size of a large coin. And what this Neuralink is going to do is it basically goes into your skull and it basically replaces a part of your skull. And then the wires that are on this Neuralink then connect a few centimeters or an inch away from the device, basically simplifying the Neuralink. It's basically like a Fitbit in your skull. Is pretty much how he put it. And I actually have a diagram of what it would technically look like. I have to turn my brightness down so you can actually see it. You can see the first model and then the second model of what they did. If you can see that.
Oh, we kind of can.
Ish.
Yeah, damn. Damn. Why
So
does it
basically
need to
that-
go in? Like,
So basically, let me see, where was the whole part of that?
I mean, the way you
So
read it,
basically,
it sounds
it's-
like they're going to trepan a part of your skull out and fit it in the spot.
That's exactly what it is. It's basically the whole goal of the whole Neuralink is to solve import brain plus spine problems with a seamless implanted device. So basically the whole goal for him, because he's not really talking about much of what it does. He's only talking about the things that they're finding out right now. He said it's basically a long-term goal. They want to fully restore the human body to like full motion for people who lost motions. They want to do it on people who have had like spine procedures and things like that. That people who don't have full mobility and see how it works and see if it gives them back the mobility.
well,
Basically, how it charges, which is one of the most interesting things, because you're probably wondering how this thing charges, how it works.
think about
It
that.
basically is inductively charged. And what does inductively charged mean? Well, I didn't know what it meant. So basically what it means is it charges like a regular smartphone or an iWatch. And then you basically use it all day and it's fully functional, and then you charge it at night. So I don't know how the whole charging piece would work per se, but that's what he said.
So like with like an Apple Watch, right? You have like the weird little magnet thing on that you usually just keep on your bedside table, and you put the watch on there. Do you just need to start sleeping with your head on your bedside table to charge your brain? Is that?
I'm assuming that's.
I can only hope. I hope that is what you'll have to do. I pray that is what happens.
Oh boy!
Just as a side thought, which I just thought about because you mentioned Apple Watches.
Sure.
I don't personally have a Fitbit, but with phones and stuff, is it controlled via a satellite or is it a pre-programmed thing? Because if you're using it for mobility, just on the extreme case, say mobility of legs or whatever, you're going to an elevator or an underground car park, are you going to lose that mobility temporarily? Or is it built in, or is there some kind of...
Yeah, it does in itself have a processor, so like there's actually quite a bit to it. Like you can see it's not just like a flat surface, so to speak. But what it tends to do is connect remotely to your phone. And yeah, it does in itself maintain... It definitely has some form of internal memory, right? Because sometimes I won't have my phone with me for some reason. I know I'm pretty cash. So yeah, I might... example being, I might go to the gym sometimes without my phone, and I'll keep my watch on. And it'll actually record all of my physical activity at the gym. And then when I obviously catch back up with my phone at home, once it connects, it feeds all of that data over into the phone.
So
that's funny because that's kind of how like he's thinking it would work. And then he's also talking about how it would be able to play music in your head. I'm not making this up. This is all stuff he said on YouTube. Like you look all this stuff up.
Play music in your head.
Yep.
Yeah, they have like bone frequency things, don't they?
I don't know
Where they can
that
like
I need
vibrate your
that.
bones to play sound rather than actual sound waves.
I don't know
Like
that I need that. I always have songs in my head anyway.
It's very odd, but there's a thing you can get for your phone that's just like plugged in the bottom, and it's just a little disc, and you bite it between your teeth, and it's soundless. No one else can hear it, but it vibrates just enough that you hear the sound waves, and it plays full music, and no one can hear anything.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Guys, I just want to quickly interrupt us because something happened a few minutes ago that I really need to acknowledge. The one and only Kasha Baby is here.
Speak of the devil.
The one and only Kasha Baby.
I love you so much.
Podcast. I better just quickly mute myself from you because this way I won't I won't be screaming down your headsets.
What do you think of this whole brain chip thing now that we're talking about it?
Guys, we can still hear you, by the way.
Like I said, more for like prosthetics and...
Anyway, I'm just going to let them keep going. Kasha, thank you so much for the resub, girl. Love having you hanging out in here, by the way.
At the same time,
That's how I feel.
You know what to do. You know what to do. Here we go.
They had the
Foos!
things for the
Ruda! Thank you so much. Hope that you're having a great afternoon, fam.
Track where you are. It's completely normal now to see kids with the behind ear, the ones that are like attached to the head, even the cochlear implants. I mean, is it just that the world's going full tech, or is it just that I think it's right to be nervous. I think you're right to be...
I don't like the idea that, like, I don't know, I feel like something bad could happen with it.
Oh, well.
But is that a founded thing, or is that from watching too many, like, Skylink and stuff like that?
Yeah, Terminator, and all of that sort of stuff. Well, not even Terminator.
With the implants.
The Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man would have us believe that, connecting a chip to your Neuralink will indeed have a machine controlling your mind. So it must be legit, right? If Spider-Man has to deal with it, then we all have to deal with it. Not to mention, what is interesting is the equation that Elon makes to Black Mirror, because that's actually where the most terrifying applications for this sort of thing come from, right? Think about all the Black Mirror episodes that feature these things that connect to your brain, like, the chip that, records your memory is a great example.
Yeah, he gets talking about that's part of it too, all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. That's like most of the episodes that I can think of that terrify me is the ones that record your memory. Like, think about like, insurance companies, Do you remember that episode of Black Mirror? So, you have a claim or whatever. Imagine if instead of like just, an insurance assessor coming out to look at the hole in your ceiling or whatever, maybe they do come out to look at the hole in your ceiling, but then they're like, okay, I'd just like to plug into your brain chip, please. Make sure that you haven't done this on purpose. Like, can you?
I would say, heck no.
Can you imagine,
Get out of here.
accidents, like car accidents and things like that? Oh, hey, so you were at this place at this time. Can I just plug into your brain, see what you saw, bro? Like
That has both pros and cons, though. What if you needed to unlock like a repressed memory of something traumatic or evidence of something extreme that happened?
Well, we see that happen in a completely different Black Mirror episode. I feel like Netflix is getting a
That's
lot of
what I'm
plugs from me,
alluding
by
to,
the
yeah.
way. Netflix, promotion isn't free, bro.
Is it on some Black Mirror?
Yeah, Black Mirror. Everyone, watch Black Mirror on Netflix. No, this is not a sponsored stream yet. That actually happened. So in that episode, what is it? A dude. What happens is their memories upload to like a cloud or whatever. They have, it's kind of like Apple Home or whatever, except, with the addition of your brain memories. And then he just, I don't know, for some reason he gets like suspicious of his partner and goes back to her previous memories and then finds that she had been cheating on him with his best mate and absolutely flips. Anyway, so prime example of where that sort of stuff goes wrong, right? Bad applications like repressed memories. Think about other things that could go wrong with this sort of deal. With I use the example of Spider-Man, right, with Doc Ock and the arms taking over Doc Ock. But AI, Elon not so long ago was bitching about AI, saying how we should all be worried about it and everything like that. Facebook had to shut their AI down for a little bit because it developed its own language and started talking to itself. So if you've got
scary.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've got that going on and then we want to start plugging things into our actual brain, yeah, it's a bit of a yikes.
Like, I haven't read major deep into it, but he said he wants to have. He said it last year as well, though, so I don't know how much credit's in it. He wants to have it in a human host by the end of this year, for testing purposes. But he also said by the end of next year he wants to start thinking about syncing it with some AI, but that he hasn't alluded on it expanded on it whatsoever.
Well,
So
there
I don't
we
know
go.
what that relates to, whether it's just a GPS telling you where to go or whether it's like you're taking over the world.
I'm done.
Oh, can you imagine that, like, in your brain?
If you look, a basic Google search will tell you, he says, host by the end of this year, AI by the end of next year.
Yeah.
That's where it starts to get scary.
That's exactly what I mentioned. Like, the dude wants to plug into AI and shit. And it's like, yes, thank you, Mrs. Force Raptor. Oh, you're not Mrs. Force Raptor, but thank you all the same.
As much intelligent it is, needs to be programmed by someone at the end of the day.
Oh, bro, like, okay, let's just say this now, guys. Doomsday Preppers, you were right. Well done. Hey, do you have any free space in your bunker? Asking for a friend.
2020 yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, oh, yikes.
Now you see why I said that it should be on the outside of your brain, not on the inside?
Yes.
So we can take that off versus just have it there. And on top of that, he said it's not only that, it can be changed within the next couple X amount of years, it gets changed, right? And then on top of that, you can have it removed, and then you can also have it upgraded and have it even more upgraded version put in. And it's like, you know what? I'm not for that. If anything happens to my body where I'm paralyzed, I'd rather just be that way. I don't want anything going in my brain.
Okay.
I'm good.
Counter proposal, Elon. Seriously, bro. Here's what we do. Don't do that, but do something similar where you just like have something that sort of plugs in to the neural pathways. Yeah, and it doesn't need to stick out. It just needs to be like a USB-C port. I don't know. Put it like in behind your ear or something, right? No one's looking there anyway. I hope not. Like, who looks behind ears? Anyway, so a USB-C port, like, they're nice and small, and yeah, like, it's there, and then, maybe every once in a while you just need to install a patch update, and you just plug it in. and away you go. And you know what? If we're going to be playing music in our brain, I think the practical applications are much better. You know, you plug USB-C port in here, you plug the other end of the USB-C port into your computer, and you know, away you go. Away you go. You can upload your iTunes library into your brain, like, boom.
I'm just quickly saying to Ssrenna while you were talking, like, to chat.
Oh, we can hear you.
The 10 years ago, the hearing aid, everyone, when it was behind their ear, everyone's like, oh, I don't want that, don't want that. But now it's completely normal to see all the different kinds of type that are stuck in your head, behind your ear, everything. Or is it just going to be the same? It's just going to become, like, completely normal.
Oh, for sure. Art Hunter, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Raptor Nation. What a vibe. What a vibe. Okay. Look, let's get off the crazy sci-fi side of things and actually have like just focus on like the pros, like what good can come from this. What I think about is this. You think about current disorders and diseases and whatnot that we barely know anything about, but they really do hit us really hard. Like what immediately comes to mind for me is motor neurone disease, right? And it seems it seems to have something to do with your brain, but I don't think that they really know the effect of motor neuron. It obviously is that the body bit by bit sort of just shuts down, and eventually, you know, it all finishes, so to speak. It's terrible, terrible to behold. But again, like I said, something that you don't really like. Nobody really knows too much about. They need to do more research. And yeah, what I just think about, if there's something that you can plug into your brain and it just reads all of this stuff, surely that is a hell of a good chance to be able to diagnose, you know, what causes something like motor neurone disease. And, you know, that's a huge step towards, you know, being able to prevent or cure it, right? And that's one thing. Obviously, the things that come to mind for a lot of people is, you know, like dementia and things like that. Course, but yeah, so I get the good intentions, you know, that come out of developing something like this, and you know what, you ignore the sci-fi stuff a little bit when you do focus on that and say, well, look, if tomorrow we can, you know, prevent every neurological issue that you know, people suffer from now, then tell you what, you stop, you know, worrying about the doomsday stuff. But at the same token, you know, bunker probably wouldn't hurt at this stage, especially if they're going to hook her up to the AI. Yeah, that's exactly why I was like having that go, because it's got to be 6 to 12 months ago. Elon was saying, guys, we need to worry about AI because it's scary. And then, yeah, here he is developing brain chips and hooking it up to what? Anyway. Yep. Let's dial it back technologically a little bit, guys. I haven't shut up about this series again on Netflix. Again, I really need to reiterate, not a sponsored stream. We are not sponsored by Netflix. I just apparently watch a lot of Netflix. And I was telling you guys about this series before we started today. High Score. Really great series. But what I found was really interesting was it delved into the early beginnings of, I don't know, a little tech company and you know, gaming creator by the name of Nintendo. You guys heard of them?
Yeah.
Never.
You've never heard? Yeah. Well, Ssrenna, what can you tell us about Nintendo?
Well, Nintendo. It's a very worldwide known brand. It's known for its consoles. It's known for its games. Pretty much its name overall.
Yeah, it pretty much is like a name, and that kind of goes into, you know, what I'm talking about. So we just finished talking about just some really high-tech shit, right? Courtesy of Uncle Elon. As Nintendo exists, and really for a long time, Nintendo have exist with, well, some pretty basic hardware in terms of, you know, the consoles that they manufacture. And I don't say basic as in like they're shit, because they are not. But when you look at them next to their competitors, you know, and it goes as far back as, you know, Sega, right? Way back in the day.
Yep.
You had the Nintendo Sega console war, and yeah, many will argue Sega won that. sure, but Nintendo still stuck around and had some amazing sales and everything like that. Definitely pushed their products out terrifically, despite the fact, what was it? The NES was running what 8 bits, not even 6 bits, and the Sega Genesis was running 16-bit. Which is just like mind-boggling a comparison. Like the Sega console was just so just stupidly superior in terms of hardware, and that's really how things have rolled throughout time. You look at the N64 versus the original Sony PlayStation. The differences between those two. You look at the Game Boy. And the Nintendo DS against. So again, I use the Sony comparison, but yeah, Sony came out with the PlayStation Portable and the like. Far superior hardware in the PlayStation Portable got absolutely annihilated in sales by the Game Boy and the DS, obviously, and it follows through to current gen, right? The Switch.
Yep.
Not terrific hardware-wise compared to even the initial release of the Xbox One, right? But yeah, current edition of the Xbox One and your PlayStation 4, the hardware just doesn't measure up to the point where, in fact, developers, if they want to access the Nintendo market, they actually have to spend we've talked about this before, they have to spend a lot of time redeveloping their game in a lot of cases just to make it fit for the Switch. And look, in all likelihood, I'm happy to be wrong about this. We'll probably see the same thing follow on into next gen when eventually Nintendo do make the successor to the Switch. Not that they need to right now. But yeah, my question is this. How? Why? Like, how is it that Nintendo, for such a long time, have got by with the inferior technology hardware-wise?
It's the systems and the games. It's all the original classics. Those will never die. People love that. It brings back so much nostalgia. I mean, you have the Pokemon games. You got your Animal Crossing. I mean, you got your GoldenEye for N64. I mean, there's so many games that are just legendary. You have all your different options for customization for Nintendo 64s. You have your special editions, and it just goes on from there. And it's like what most collectors, because I used to work in a retro video game store, when they go in, they're not necessarily looking for more of the older PlayStation or Microsoft. So they're looking for those retro consoles of what Nintendo has. So because of everything that they've done over time, I feel like it's always just going to be there. It's always going to be something that people will always love, and it can never just die off. Especially Pokemon. Pokemon's a huge one. People love Pokemon.
Sure. I mean, like, you make 2 points there. You talk about, like, I guess they're mascots, right? And you mention the fact that they've just been there from the start, right? I don't think it's enough to have just been there already or been retro. Like, Atari were there at the start. They're retro as fuck, Guess what? Atari isn't around anymore. Sega, they're around, towards the start. Sega, they have mascots and everything like that, but also Sega don't make consoles anymore.
Nintendo has a big focus on family-friendly fun. A hell of a lot of gimmicks right from the start, right from the light gun. To rival the PSP, they did that, I can't remember what it's called, the handheld console that was before the Switch, which pretty much flopped. But even that was selling, it sold hundreds of thousands of units, and it still was classed as a flop. And then they did the Nintendo Labo, which was basically cardboard cutouts. They've always got peripherals from the start, and they've got all these old games, like Ssrenna mentioned, the Pokemon keeps getting revamped and redone, and Super Smash Bros has gone on through the years. Mario Kart has gone on through the years. I mean, even later gen, recent generations of gamers and stuff, they all know Mario and Pokemon and stuff. It's not just from the 90s or late 80s.
It's a good point.
They all still play Marios and the Zeldas, and no matter what list you look up on YouTube, Google, whatever it is, it's always got best, like, in the top 10 easily, Zelda, a Mario game, and GoldenEye, every time.
Every
And
time.
Final Fantasy started out on
Yep.
Nintendo. That is huge now. Absolutely huge.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course,
It didn't start, but yes.
yeah. Well, I guess back when Final Fantasy started, that's all you really had was Nintendo. Just about. Yeah. People lose track of just how long we've had Final Fantasy in the world for. It's actually like an amazing game, history wise. But yeah, that is, I do like that just keeps on coming up here is mascots, right? You know, Mario, Pokemon,
Mhm.
like Zelda. You know, they've got so many. Star Fox to some degree, even.
Yep. Star Fox, definitely.
Something that
Star
I
Fox has
learned
so many
watching
game
this Netflix
crossovers.
series.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, like as I said, something that I learned watching this Netflix series was that Star Fox was actually the first 3D console game. And the game originally was just developed as a 3D game, and then Nintendo insisted, because obviously it was an exclusive title, they insisted on creating cute, likable characters that would, actually be the feature of the game, so to speak. So rather than just develop like a space fighting simulator, Nintendo actually, that was their approach, was to, add these, like a frog and, a fox and everything like that, and draw them and just have them in game and whatnot. Like that was the thing that they just had to make sure that they did. So obviously, I think even back then they knew that that's what they was, not just their gameplay, but also their characters, which, yeah, I think that it's fair to say that they have just always done consistently, as you guys point out, right? Like, when can you remember us not having Mario or Pokemon or Zelda?
I mean, I remember watching Pokemon every Saturday morning.
Yeah. And in fact, it's
playing Who's That Pokemon?
yeah, and I think what's testament to it is this: their mascots. Like if you think about it, like Pikachu, Mewtwo, Samus, Link from Zelda. You got like your Donkey Kongs and just all of these characters, right? That they've put together over the years. These mascots from these games, they've made the characters the face of the games. And that's culminated in them developing Super Smash Brothers, right? And that in of itself is just like huge, to the point where it just has this crazy like esports sort of community around it now. But my point is like the reason why Super Smash Brothers is huge and no other sort of gauntlet, all-in party fighter has ever reached that high, including the likes of Brawlhalla. As much as I love Brawlhalla. It probably won't ever be like a Super Smash Brothers. I'd be happy to be wrong about that, but it probably won't. And the reason is this: because of the characters in Super Smash Brothers, these mascots, you get to play as Mario, literally beating the shit out of Donkey Kong. You get to be Link, literally beating the shit out of Star Fox. Like, just a perfect formula. And the reason why you enjoy that so much is because you recognize, and you love these characters.
Yep.
So that's a crazy, awesome, and I think very correct point that you both make about why Nintendo do so well. Now, compare that to what their competitors do and what their competitors have. On the Xbox, well, we know about Sega. They had Sonic, and Sonic was absolutely massive back in the day. Definitely sold the Genesis consoles. Again, learned that on the Netflix series, but I pretty much already knew that anyway. But yeah, let's think about like Xbox. Obviously have Master Chief.
Yep.
I can't think of anybody else.
That's mostly
Halo and Master Chief, and that's more or less it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's my point. On PlayStation, you have Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
They have a lot of
Ratchet and
exclusives,
Clank?
but they don't have standalone characters that carry them through the years on PlayStation. They just have
Yeah, well,
sort of
he-
single exclusives more.
yeah, they have a couple. Like I said, Crash Bandicoot and Ratchet and Clank really stick out for me. But
They held Final Fantasy for a while.
they did. Yeah, it's not like a mascot though, is it? Final
No,
Fantasy. Like
No.
you don't look at those characters.
Spyro.
And yeah, well. Spyro. Spyro is a great example. Great example of, like somebody who's mascot. But the point that I was going to make is this, right? You can't actually look consistently across the PlayStation timeline and see that we had those characters throughout, because Crash actually went away for a while, and then has come back.
Yep.
Who else? Spyro was only there.
Spyro only released a handful of games, and then he went away for years and years.
Yeah. Ratchet and Clank more or less disappeared after the PlayStation 3. And then they're coming back again.
Jak and Daxter wasn't bad. So they did a few Jak and Daxters.
Oh, true. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I guess the point I make is they haven't really carried the console across, like its generations and everything like that. They didn't sell the console based on those mascots throughout. Like you would argue that Crash Bandicoot sold the PlayStation 1, right? They literally, they unapologetically used him as the mascot of the PlayStation 1. You had Crash 1, 2, 3, a racing game, which was more or less a Mario Kart clone, but in my opinion, an actual better game to play than Mario Kart 64.
Yes.
Yeah, like it definitely flagship that, but then on the PlayStation 2 and the 3, you didn't really see him much. Yeah, whereas with Nintendo, you don't have a Nintendo console that doesn't have a Mario game on it.
No, that's very true.
And you don't have a Game Boy that doesn't have a Pokemon title on it. Or a DS.
No, you're right there. You're right there.
Yeah.
I read something controversial about Nintendo yesterday, or the day before. We all know Pokemon. Everyone knows Pokemon, all the games, you've all grown up with them. It's arguable that the full face of Pokemon now is Pikachu, right?
Yeah,
now, there's been a leak saying Pikachu is going to be evolved in the series. So Ash ain't going to have no Pikachu no more.
Oof.
That's not Pokemon. That's not Pokemon, right?
I know, right? Now, this all stems, I haven't got it in front of me, but it stems from the original Japanese mangas that followed the basic series and stuff.
Right.
And Ash's character in that is Pikachu evolves to find love and with another Raichu. Let's just not talk about Alolan Raichu because that's awful. But is that sticking with Pokemon? Do we need to keep Pikachu? Because to me, that is the face of Pokemon now.
Yeah, so you're talking about the anime characters.
Like
Ash and
Pikachu started Ash's journey, and every kid when they got yellow, they wanted to be just like Ash, having their Pikachu. And every game that you play, right, even elderly people, right, that don't know what Pokemon is, if you show them a picture of Pikachu, they're gonna know exactly what it is, or they've heard of it. That's a big thing that everyone knows about. But as soon as you start to take that away and change things, it's like you're ruining it. I feel like they're doing the same thing that they did with Pokemon Black and White, where they kind of ruined those two games. I wish they had learned from that.
I don't know that they were trying to change everything with Black and White. They just, I don't know, tried to be different and then seemed like they were running out of ideas. But
I don't know whether this will ever actually materialise, but I read it and was I was shocked with it. No.
I very strongly hope it's wrong. It definitely, I don't know, I grew up watching that that series. It was like on morning TV as a kid before school, right? That and Dragon Ball Z, like you watch that and then it was time to go to school. But it completely undoes the character development of Pikachu and you know what the good faith that the show has built in the character. You know, there was an entire episode where Ash.
Yes, I was going to mention the Surge episode.
Yes, exactly. The Lieutenant Surge episode where you know, Ash is battling Surge and his Raichu, and you know, very very heavily contemplates giving Pikachu a Thunderstone and evolving him so that they can win because you know they struggle or whatever. And then the idea is Ash and Pikachu realize that there's benefits to Pikachu being Pikachu. And yeah, they obviously use that to overcome the Raichu and Lieutenant Surge. Like, and you know that sent a really really powerful message, I think, to anybody watching it. It was like, you know, don't try and be more or something other than yourself. You know, realize what good there, like, you know, what you bring to the table, what good there is in you, and you know, overcome your challenges that way. Like, yeah, and I don't know. I'm not saying outright that it undoes it, but just feels like it does, right?
It's something to keep an eye on going forward, certainly.
Absolutely. Like we've seen, you know, beloved series do it before. You know, on The Simpsons, I think Marge and Homer got divorced or some shit. I've long stopped watching The Simpsons, but yeah, like that obviously did a lot of goodwill there. Like, you know, what story that they were telling with those two. I get it. If you're talking about like a real life sort of scenario, maybe Marge would have like left Homer a long time ago. But yeah, it wasn't a real life scenario. It was a cartoon with a lot of unbelievable circumstances. And, you know, I think a lot of the formula was, about the ridiculousness of, you know, that relationship. Anyway, so, oh man. But no, coming back to Pokemon and, you know, Nintendo and whatnot, do you think that is something that, well, actually, I don't think that's a serious question. What I was going to ask is, do you think that that's something that they do moving forward, like they keep doing moving forward? And I'd say that they most likely do, right?
So if they keep doing it,
something if it's works.
So my only problem with this whole thing is, like, I think they'll be around for a long time. Like, their original stuff will always be around. People will always love that. My whole problem with Nintendo right now is if they keep changing things at the way that they are changing it, it's going to get to the point where, like, nobody's going to want it. Because, like, my generation, I grew up with all the original stuff. And, like, I like some of the new stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But when you change things too much and it feels like it's out of what it's supposed to be and it's not what it's supposed to be, I don't know, it kind of throws me off, and it just kind of makes me not want to be involved with that anymore, if that makes sense.
It's an interesting point.
I grew up with from Pokemon Blue. Like when it first came out, I remember getting it on like my birthday. I was amazed by it. Then I got Pokemon Red and Yellow going on. A few years later, I got I think it was Silver I got. And I didn't play Pokemon for like a good 5 years or so. Because I was like going through like high school and stuff, and it wasn't cool when I was in school. Now it's awesome. But when I went back to it and I picked up Ruby, and I was just blown away. Like some of the characters were amazing. I was like, I had to hunt for certain Pokemon and things. And I got really back into it. And then I picked up a later game, which I think was Black, which you touched on earlier as being a bit of a meh game. Or a different game, I should say. Mm-hmm. And I started doing a bit of looking online, like, oh, what can I hunt for? What can I get? And I saw some of the characters. The character designs really didn't do anything for me in the later gens. But now they seem to be picking up again. But they had a moment where it was all like,
they're
ice cream cone, magnet.
Yeah.
That kind of
thing. Exactly.
The only criticism that I have of the later Pokemon titles is that they're just mind-numbingly easy compared to their early day predecessors.
Oh yeah, the Elite Four.
Yeah, I think I've complained about this before on this podcast. So sorry if you're
Yeah.
like watching
Yeah, you
these,
have.
like you know, if you're there binge watching these back to back, then you'll catch me just complain about this a lot. If you play like Pokemon Red or Blue, or Pokemon Gold or Silver or Crystal, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and then I'd probably cut it off at about there. You're in for actually a hell of a gameplay experience. Arguably, the gold, silver, crystal games were probably the highest
That's a peak.
threshold of
Yes.
difficulty. But yeah, you're in any of those three generations. The first three gens, in terms of difficulty, you're in for actually like a really good gameplay experience. That does challenge you and make you think and everything like that, which I think benefits me now as a gamer, having gone through that. Because, yeah, I came in at Gen 2. Everybody knows the story. And, yeah, now, like, that is how I game. I do think about what I'm doing when I'm playing. If that was me, 8-year-old Coop, picking up, whatever it is they're playing on these days, Nintendo Switch, and playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, I don't think that I would have developed that same habit. And me as 28-year-old Coop now, playing that game, I hate to say it, I find it a little bit boring, for that reason. Yeah. But
Speaking of challenges, did you ever try like the Nuzlocke stuff?
the what? Sorry.
The Nuzlocke challenges for Pokemon games.
No.
Have you heard of those?
No. What are they?
What those are is like, even though like blue and red and yellow and stuff were gold, silver, the harder ones, what you have to do is you can when a Pokemon faints, it's gone. It's classed as dead. You release it from your party or you put it in the PC.
Oh, right.
But you have to catch the first Pokemon, whatever it is, no matter what it is, that you run into when you enter a new area, and you can use that. You can't catch any others in that area. When it dies, it goes, it's gone. And then in the next area, you catch the first one you run into there. So it's like real. And then there's even extreme ones where there's like no healing items, nothing like that. But it's ridiculous. I've seen some speedruns of it, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, I have. I didn't realize that that's what they were called, but I have heard of players doing those and streaming them even. On those games. I've never caught one, but it looks crazy. Like, only, what is it? You have to beat the Elite Four with your starter. Like,
Yes.
Things
Only
like
your
that.
starter, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like starter on their own. All sorts of things. Like, only grass types. You've got to complete the game with only grass types. Yeah, they just come up with creative new ways of conquering the game. And yeah, on those earlier titles, to do that, especially like playing through the way you're saying, if Pokemon faints, they're dead, and you gotta release them. Like, imagine that. Like that makes it categorically
into growing something, and it just takes one wrong move and it's gone.
Like, could you imagine? You've beaten Red, you've gone to the cave, and you've caught Mewtwo. And then, I don't know, you go to the battle tower or something like that, and your Mewtwo, you try to tank with your Mewtwo faints. That would break my heart. Or, the Charmander that you give him when you go to Kanto, and then, same deal. You try to tank with your Charizard, and then your Charizard faints, and you haven't backed it up with an egg or anything like that. And you've just got no Charizard.
I mean, I can tell you a story of this guy. He was shiny hunting a Mewtwo too, right? Him and his friend were doing a live stream. Well, he was going through the whole thing, and at the last second, he didn't look, and he didn't realize his friend caught it before he should have. But his friend he got that shiny Mewtwo, right? And he caught it on live stream, and everyone was telling him about it. He didn't see. He ended up turning it back off, and his friend told him about it. He looked back at the thing, and oh my gosh, he lost it. He was so upset. He spent so many hours in that. I was like, oh my gosh, that
is another league.
Oh.
The grind for shiny hunting is ridiculous.
It is. I have watched Nintendo streamers shiny hunting on Sword and Shield even, which, is just...
When did shiny hunting start? Didn't shinies come out in gold, or was it a Gen 3 thing? They weren't in the original couple.
They were in Diamond, and Pearl, and Platinum.
Yeah, I think they were in Gen 2. I never did catch one, but I have read, I think on Reddit and whatnot, that they were in Gen 2. You couldn't count. It was, you had like no chance. Well, not no chance, but next to no chance. But you could encounter in the wild a shiny Mew. Playing a Gen 2 game.
I remember using a Game Shark to get a Mew on Pokemon Yellow, and I was like the envy of all my friends. And do you remember that thing where like you got to get through the whole game and then go to surf by the side of the boat, the SSR, and push the thing, and there'll be a Mew there.
Yeah.
Spent the whole game difficult, making it more difficult for myself, and there was nothing there, just a caravan.
Oof.
Oh.
Not nice.
No.
Yeah. Oh. Isn't it funny?
I was too naive.
Mew, in particular, Mew doesn't really have much battle application in the game. Like, you know, and he's so much harder to get, though. He's pretty much just an Easter egg. Thank you.
He was like the face of the first movie and everything. He was just so coveted, everyone wanted him.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe in the originals he was only available in like from events like the Pokemon and Niantic, Game Freak held.
Like, you can tell people who, well, I don't know, maybe this isn't a fair like categorization, but what I'm about to say is this: you can tell people who started off in the game and started off perhaps, you know, with the TV series and the movie, right? Because people who started off in the game, like people who were older, obviously, you know, weren't really much into the cartoons. Started off playing the game, and the game is good for adults as it is for kids. They're the ones. No, like, you know, I started off in Gen 2, as I said. So if you're old, I'm old. But yeah, I definitely started on Pokemon with the TV series and the movie and stuff, and, you know, played the video games off the back of that. And why I point that out is this: people who started with the games tend to give more of a fuck about Mew. People who started off with the TV series are totally all about Mew too. Reason being, you know, the movie in particular gave you that just crazy, awesome introduction to Mewtwo. Like, he was the big bad and everything like that. Like, you were like, whoa, Mewtwo, like, I've got to have him. And, you know, to this day, actually, playing Pokemon Go, which is still, like, alive and beating, guys. Playing Pokemon Go, look, it was a huge deal when I beat my first Mewtwo raid, which is 5-star raid.
Oh, jeez.
And I caught Mewtwo. Like, absolutely amazing. I wonder if I can show him to you. Just try to find him.
I remember in the original series when they sort of alluded to Mewtwo in his armor when Giovanni had him in his gym in the series. There he is.
Ooh,
does he have Shadow Ball?
Does
he have the move Shadow Ball?
No, he's got Confusion and Psychic.
That's terrible. The Shadow Ball Mewtwo's are well sought after. People actually pay for them.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, like, I kind of just play the game. I don't really go too seriously into it. I probably could, and maybe I should. I don't know. But, like, I also, so in the game, they kind of just give Mew to you off the back of, like, an event. Like, you go, you've got to do all the research tasks and everything like that. But yeah, I've got Mew in here as well somewhere. Where is he? He should be close to Mewtwo, you would think. Mew. Oh, there he is. He's so small. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like.
The catching was pretty cool. Like, he actually flew around on screen invisible and stuff, but there was no grind or nothing. There was no severe tasks. It was like, spin 10 stops that you've never visited before, that kind of thing. There was nothing strenuous about getting him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, you know, Mewtwo, like, sure, you know exactly where to find him and everything like that, but you get him at the very end, like, after you've beaten the, like, okay, if I'm thinking about Gen 2, you've beaten the Elite Four, and you've beaten Lance, and then you've gone to Kanto, you've beaten all of those gym leaders. What do you got? You've got Mewtwo? Yes!
The Shadow Ball one, yeah.
The Shadow Ball one. Perfect.
If I remember rightly, Mew... This is when I was raiding, like taking it mega seriously.
And you picked up. Oh, nice. Nice,
We
nice,
went on
nice.
a proper crazy time one time, and I didn't play anything else for a good few months.
I should get back into it. Really, I should. Um, I kind of just casually jump in at least once a day to open all my friends' gifts, send them all gifts, catch a Pokemon and spin a stop, and then that's about it. And then that's pretty much all I do on it. I could play it a lot more than I do, but I don't. But as I was saying, like with a Gen 2 game, you've beaten Kanto, and then you got to go and find Red. You know, you go through that cave and everything like that. You find Red, you beat him, and then once you've done that, finally you can go to Cerulean Cave and catch Mewtwo. It's like a huge thing. It's like, okay, you've beaten a gauntlet of everything the game wants to throw at you. And now you can go and, and he doesn't submit. He's actually really hard to catch, unless you just show up and throw your Master Ball at him.
Without the Master Ball, he's a pain.
Exactly.
And he hits hard as well.
Yeah.
He hits real hard.
Exactly. And I always save my Master Ball for Mewtwo. Because I'm like, like out of all of the rare or legendaries that you'll catch in that game, he's absolutely the hardest to catch normally with an Ultra Ball. You could sit there with him, asleep with like 2 HP or 1 HP, and then just be throwing all your Ultra Balls at him, and he'll just keep on waking up and absolutely annihilating your Pokemon. You'll have him on 1 HP asleep, and then he just wakes up and he'll go through your party. He's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. I'm not going to sleep tonight just thinking about it.
It's a one-of-a-kind feeling when instead of going, what, the ball just goes, bing, you're like...
Yeah. Yeah. If there's anyone watching this, whether you're watching live on Twitch right now or if you're watching on YouTube, let us know. Like, jump into comments on YouTube if you want. Let us know in chat. If or jump into Discord and go and flex in there if you want to. I'd be curious to know: have you caught Mewtwo without a Master Ball? Because I'll tell you what, you've done that. That is worth a flex. Holy shit, guys! But
I don't think I've ever done that.
I'd be very interested to see this.
Yeah.
I think I saved the Master Ball every time. Because it was something you knew from the start. It was in all the games, magazines, everything. You knew Mewtwo was at the end.
Yeah, and being the Pokemon, like, I don't know. I've heard of people that would use their Master Ball on the main title legendaries in Gen 2. So they would rock up to Ho-Oh or Lugia and use their Master Ball on them. I don't know. You can absolutely catch Ho-Oh and Lugia with an Ultra Ball. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can absolutely do that. And it's categorically easier than trying to do it with Mewtwo. But yeah, if that's you, if you're a Pokemon player and you have caught Mewtwo with an Ultra Ball, because you use your Master Ball on Lugia or Ho-Oh maybe, or maybe just on some other random thing, let me know. Seriously, you have my permission to flex on me. Really, you do. That's
getting your Master Ball, doing the grind for it, and then not knowing what it is, and just thinking, I'll try on this, I don't know, Pidgey or whatever. I'm devastated.
I've heard of it. People that just, they didn't really know Pokemon or whatever. They just played the game, playing it like you would a game. And they get the Master Ball, at that point where you get it, and then they're just like, it's a purple ball, thinking that it's just like the other weird balls that you get. Because to be fair, the description on it is actually pretty vague. It doesn't really convey its importance to you, although you'd think you'd work it out given how much you have to go through to get it. But so they've just gone and thrown it at something not worthwhile, really. I don't know if it was a Pidgey or something, but
I can say at least 90% of Gen 1 players will have tried the 99 Master Ball trick thing. So you could really, really easily get 99 of any item. And you could just bounce through the game, throw Master Balls at everything.
Well, yeah.
It was like a ridiculously easy glitch.
And you mentioned your Game Shark that you were using on Pokemon Yellow.
I didn't have that for blue and red, but on yellow I did.
Yeah. You could pull off 99 items on the Game Shark and the Action Replay. Which you could, Action Replay I think was more so a DS sort of deal, right? But
yeah, it was DS.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it really took. I don't know why you would continue playing the game if you just had no,
It did cheapen the experience massively.
Exactly.
I mean, I got in a lot of trouble for using it because back in the day you couldn't just Google cheats, that you had like this little cartridge, and then you had to go online, find a phone number, and you phoned this like premium rate number while mum and dad were in bed. You'd like enter this code, read it out, and you'd like enter all these zeros, ones, threes, whatever. And you'd be like 99 master balls. And a few weeks later, the phone bill came in and it was like $40. I was like, fuck. Yeah, it definitely, it's not worth doing. The experience is fantastic without it.
Yeah, like
it does attraction.
A few weekends ago, I was flexing because I did the Magikarp event and I finally got a red Gyarados in Pokemon Go.
Ooh,
that's
congratulations.
That's it. Yeah, that's all I ever really wanted was Mewtwo and red Gyarados. But so reason why I bring that up, again, going back to the Gen 2 games, the red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage, right? That was the ultimate sweat moment. Like that was aside from Whitney with her Miltank, in Goldenrod City, right? Like
that rollouts.
Oh my god, yeah, that bitch with her rollouts. But yeah, like you got through. That was really just like infuriating. That was no different to playing Fall Guys now, right? Trying to get a crown, beating her with the Miltank. No, the ultimate sweat moment, like your first exposure to true adversity, was trying to catch the red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage in the Gen 2 Pokemon games. Yes, it was very, very infuriating. Like, you would have to save the game before you started. Same deal with Mewtwo, obviously, like later, as we were talking about. But yeah, you'd have to save the game before you started, like, to interact with him because you knew you were not going to get him on the first attempt. It's an ordeal. Like, it's an accomplishment when you catch him. If you just have, like, all of the Master Balls in your inventory already, it really just destroys that experience. It takes the experience away. If you're just throwing a Master Ball at everything, it's just like, why are you playing? Like, sure, you'll definitely catch all the Pokemon, but, do you really feel like you deserved it?
You're not wrong. I like the memories. I enjoyed Yellow, and it's pretty much the same game as Red and Blue, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But I have nowhere near the memories I have of Yellow that I do of Blue and Red. Blue and Red are like in my heart. Yellow was just like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, good times.
And I think I did that to myself, don't get me wrong. But I was like a kid and was like, yeah, I can cheat, guys.
Yeah, I do understand, using the Game Shark and the Action Replay. If you're on some of the later titles, there would be earlier gen Pokemon that you could not catch in those games.
Without trade,
without trading or whatever. So I don't know, if you're someone that didn't have anyone to trade with, I could understand using like an Action Replay to bring those Pokemon in. So, is it Beer 30 yet, Mac? Yes, it is. Also, Harlan Demons, I did see you in chat. How you doing, my guy? So yeah, I get it, but yeah, in terms of like, it's the same now. If you're using like wall hacks in a Call of Duty game, like why? Like, do you really feel like you deserve the win when you inevitably pick it up? No, and everyone can tell when you're cheating. Anyway, another since I bring up Call of Duty, let's go on to this topic, guys. First-person shooter games. Which is your favorite?
I need to clarify something with this.
Sure.
Because obviously you told us roughly we were going to ask about this. First-person shooter games to me aren't COD, aren't battle royales. They are like Gears of War, Left 4 Dead. They're walking around with a gun. Do you mean like big battle royales, or do you mean FPS games when you say this? Or do you just mean as a broad kind of...
Well, battle royales are battle royales, but there are games that are first-person shooter battle royales. So when I'm talking about for an FPS, I'm talking about a game where you play as a first-person shooter. So COD
Right.
would be a first-person shooter, right? Fortnite, I don't know. Can you even pan into?
It's a third-person shooter.
Yeah, exactly. So Fortnite doesn't really fall into it. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I don't know, because whenever I'm playing Fortnite, I'm definitely in third person. I was just like, I don't think you can even go into first person. That's kind of my deal. So yeah, don't say Fortnite when answering this question. Yeah, definitely games where you're playing first person and you're shooting.
See, I'm not a shooter player. I don't play first-person shooters. I know you said don't say Fortnite. I do play Fortnite a lot, and there's a good reason behind that, which I'll get into at some point, but not right now. COD, I can't stand Call of Duty. It's one of the biggest games out there right now, and it's a controversial opinion. I cannot stand it. I can't stand watching it, playing it. And I know that's going against the grain of so many gamers and so many players and stuff.
Not
but
really.
Things like Left 4 Dead, Gears of War, Halo, I absolutely love. Really do love them. But the Battle Royales, Fortnite's the only one I can stick with.
Sure. That's fair enough. I'm not here to shit on Fortnite. It's just like Fortnite you can talk about, and that's a topic on its own. But yeah, okay. So if you had to pick between Gears, Halo, and Left 4 Dead, where would you go?
I mean, Left 4 Dead has great replayability, as does Halo, but Halo has been delayed, the new one, so many times over. I'm still looking forward to it, don't get me wrong, but every time I'm just like, again, I'm not as excited and hyped as I was for it because we've had so many. I know it's not their own fault, but we've had so many delays and cutbacks and waits that I probably won't get it at launch, whereas I would have done had it released at the right time, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's funny that you almost beat yourself up for hating on COD. I feel like there is actually a niche of almost gaming hipsters out there that pride themselves on hating on Call of Duty games. And to be fair, in recent years, Activision have made it easier to hate Call of Duty. They've done some things that people haven't loved all that much. But yeah, I have to be honest with you guys. Maybe I should have been a little more specific. If what I'm really looking for here is a title, and I'll go with my own example here. Or even a series of titles. So for me, my favorite first-person shooter is Call of Duty. But it is actually specifically...
I'm just shit all over it.
Yeah. It's okay, that's nice to know what you think, but here's what I think. No, okay, here we go. No, it's Call of Duty, but no, it's not just the entire COD franchise. No, I'm talking Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. Bam. Damn good games. Back when Call of Duty was... at its pinnacle, as far as I'm concerned, you had these great single player campaigns with excellent multiplayer off the back. And I mean, then Black Ops came in, and Black Ops was excellent. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, just really this story that went across 3 games, right? It had these characters that you played as, and you gave a shit about. It took you through just a crazy journey that they went on as soldiers, working in the SAS and everything like that. And yeah, it got to a very satisfying conclusion in the end. I don't really want to spoil it because maybe there's people these days that never played Modern Warfare 3, but it gets to a very satisfying conclusion where you get payoff, but you've also actually had your heart broken on the way there. That is something that you just don't necessarily hear about happening all that much in a first-person shooter, or in a COD game for that matter these days. A lot of the times, aside from the, remasters and things like that that are obviously going on, you don't have a COD game where you do care as much about the characters as you ever did in Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. and it was actually like a huge deal in its day. I don't think, unless you were a person caught up in it, I don't think that it's easy today to understand how much COD mattered to people back when Modern Warfare 3 actually arrived. Because Modern Warfare 1 and 2 were just such excellent games for their time, of course, to the point where, Activision have remastered them, as I mentioned. Like, they obviously know they had a winning formula there. So they're like, look, guys, you've got Modern Warfare and the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. Like, it's available now on PS Plus right now. Like, they're selling that again because it was so big in its time. When Modern Warfare 3 came out, what was I working? I was working like a college job or something. And the girl who was my girlfriend at the time and is now Mrs. Velociraptor, like, surprised me, like, as I was finishing work and she was coming to pick me up with a brand new copy on release date of Modern Warfare 3. Like, I thought I was going to have to wait till the end of the weekend because I was working the whole time. I finished my shift on like the first day of the weekend, like the date of release, and boom, there's Modern Warfare 3. Happy memories, and I don't know, like, aside from our wedding, I don't think I've ever been happier. Absolutely crazy love for that game. I'm unapologetic about it. But that's me. Ssrenna, how about you? First person shooter, go.
First person shooter, I'd have to say Borderlands, but in particularly, I like the third one the most right now because I like the whole storyline. I like the characters that they give you. I know you can get all the different characters throughout the whole different collections and all that stuff, but I just really like the whole storyline of the third one. I just like how it's all set up, and I can replay it like all day from every single character. I mean, it's just fun. I love the game.
Borderlands
It's
is
got a great art style as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
She, though, the kitten, you know how it has Claptrap when it's on the loading screen?
Yeah.
She goes nuts for him. She will attack him whenever he's on the screen. Like, she'll follow him and attack him every time. It is so cute. I'm like, no.
Pets in video games are hilarious. We've never seen it on stream because I just don't stream Call of Duty all that much, but or at all really. But when I was playing through Call of Duty Ghosts, I don't know if you remember that title, Call of Duty Ghosts. There's a dog in that game in the single player campaign, and Pounce. In fact, I could fire that up right now, and as soon as the dog appears on the screen, Pounce would be up at the TV, like pouring at him. That dog in particular, she sees a dog in Skyrim, she doesn't care, but no, the dog in Call of Duty Ghosts, Pounce has got a pouring.
Oh, jeez. One of these times our animals are going to break our TV.
Actually, speaking of animals breaking TVs, Branch, how are there none like stampeding through that room right now? You have a lot of animals.
I have 47 animals, but this is my daughter's bedroom. This is like locked off from the world. No one comes in or out of here unless the internet goes down or food is ready.
I have
It's a
47
teenage daughter's
animals.
bedroom. Yeah, we rescue like exotic animals and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we do like a non-profit thing. We take in like there's millions of places around, like dog sanctuaries, cat sanctuaries, all that kind of thing. But for people who buy snakes, parrots, tarantulas, that kind of thing, and don't realise how big they get or what their requirements are and the amount of cost in setting up a proper enclosure, like a correct one.
Yeah.
So we end up taking them in, usually nursing them up to health and then rehoming them, but I end up falling in love with a few and keeping them.
No kidding.
So we end up with more and more. But it's good, man. It's very wholesome.
Oh.
And also, I'm gutted I forgot
That's
that
awesome.
Borderlands was a thing. I completely forgot about it, but that isn't. There you go. That would be my first-person shooter. I
Yes,
love
for it.
Borderlands, but I forgot about it.
Or twinning.
Yeah, I also love Borderlands. I stick by my answer of COD because obviously, I have just that connection to the game. But agree, Borderlands, absolutely beautiful franchise of games. And still going strong too. That's the nice thing about it, actually. Yeah.
A very small thing about COD is I played COD up to Modern Warfare 2, and it was the game. You came home from school, you played COD. You got up in the morning, you played COD, you played it all night.
You
And
had to.
it was fantastic. I loved it. Best game ever. All my friends. But then when like all friends went off to uni and work and having families and stuff, there was no one for me to play with, and I was nervous and didn't make friends easy back then.
Mm.
And I
Well-
think I killed it for myself, because then when I revisited it years and years later, I didn't get the Modern Warfare 3. It was only maybe 2 years ago I played COD again, and I had a couple of games, and it was just, obviously I sucked because I'd not played an FPS for years. And the matches I were in, I'm not saying the community's toxic, but the ones I went into were toxic, and it kind of killed it for me. So I think that's why I've got more of a meh about it kind of thing. But back in the day, it was like the be all and end all of games. I wouldn't play anything else. Everything else went on the back burner.
That is, yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because it certainly is a hallmark to being a COD player these days. It's almost like a two-tiered thing. You need to be good at an FPS, but also your smack talk needs to be on point.
Yes.
Sometimes you can get away with being shit as long as you can talk amazing smack.
Talk the talk, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've noticed that just playing Call of Duty for the past few years. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be hard to come back into it, I think, recently, because the titles have been a bit hit and miss. Like, they definitely did return to form with Black Ops 4 in terms of their original titles. And then, as I said, they've really just done what everyone else has done and, fed off nostalgia and re-released Modern Warfare.
I mean,
the Modern Warfare
the
2
other ones,
campaign.
Rainbow Six,
Rainbow
gets revisited
Six.
constantly.
Mm.
But Battlefield seems so. I've not heard anything about Battlefield for a long time.
Oh, is anyone playing Battlefield?
That's what I mean. Is that a dead game now? Is that the end of that?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that. I don't think it's dead. I just don't. I don't know. Seriously, no.
I don't think it's as popular as
Yeah. There's not as many people playing the game, and there's definitely not as many people creating content around the game. Yeah, and it's interesting that you actually mentioned that, because there have been FPS games in particular that have risen and fallen. Probably the best example that immediately comes to mind for me is Medal of Honor. Very good,
yes.
older first-person shooter. Yeah. You don't see Medal of Honor games
Ghost
anymore.
Recon did it.
Ghost of Recon. Yeah.
Ghost Recon did it the same thing. Perked up, was massive, and then dropped off really fast.
Mm-hmm. So the other question I wanted to ask you around FPS games is this: which FPS game do you think is the next to die?
Well, I have a proposition on that answer.
Ooh.
So I don't really know too much about FPS games, but my fiance does. And one of the games that he said that he feels like is most likely gonna die is gonna be Halo. And he's a hardcore Halo fan.
Oh.
He stole my answer. Horga!
Oh, did he?
Epic,
Hey.
Epic Hauga, you stole my answer!
You stole his answer.
Wait, why is Halo dying?
But yeah, no, it's a solid answer. It's a solid answer. Branch, did you want to take us through yours, and then we'll go into Halo?
I honestly, for this one, don't have an answer, because I'm not an FPS player, and neither is my partner and stuff. But I'm very intrigued as to why Halo was dying. Like I said, I was so psyched for it, and now I'm meh about it, but I'll still get it. But I'm intrigued why you both came to the same of Halo was dying, because it's a solid game. It's a great game.
The Halo franchise is a solid franchise, and it is the flagship of the Xbox, right? We were saying, in terms of Microsoft Xbox mascots, they have the Master Chief, and that's about it. That is, and that's all they've really needed to sell their consoles for the most part. Because Halo, it's revolutionary. The first game was called Combat Evolved, and it wasn't fucking joking. It evolved, combat games and first-person shooters and the like. but yeah, where the game currently is, and where the franchise currently is, it's not in a great spot. If we're looking at first person shooters just in general, right, and where all of those franchises are sitting, yeah, so sure, Call of Duty had some missteps this gen, but yeah, look, they've returned to their roots. They've got what looks like a very promising game in Black Ops Cold War coming up. I don't think Call of Duty's going anywhere. Um, you've got those other like sort of first-person shooter games as well out there. They've all really got sound sort of followings. They've got nice player bases. They have their plans set out for next gen, thinking like Gears and the likes of that, right? And then you've got Halo. So Halo's last game, it was okay. It was mired in controversy in terms of the story and everything like that. People thought that they would be playing a campaign where they fought the Master Chief, and that was intriguing. And then, in fact, that doesn't happen. Spoiler alert, by the way, but I think by now you know. And then, yeah, we have a bunch of trailers come out for Halo Infinite. And the game doesn't look very good in those trailers.
No.
We've talked about this before on this podcast where, I think we quite fairly pointed out, watching the gameplay trailer, it looked as though it was a gameplay trailer for Halo Reach.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think that that feedback's reached the studio. They've delayed the game. It's not coming out at launch. It just doesn't... I don't know, maybe they revive it, maybe it turns around. We've seen this sort of thing happen before, but yeah, it just doesn't look like the healthiest franchise in terms of first-person shooters. Also, Morgan091PP, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Raptor Nation. But yeah, that's my rationale. What was Epic Hauger's thoughts on that one?
Justin, what are your thoughts on Halo? Just in general. Everything. Sorry.
He just doesn't like Halo.
Oh no, he's upset because it's changed over the years. Like, he said the first couple of ones were like hardcore, like what everybody wanted, and then they went into some of the other ones, and then the hardcore people beginning didn't like all the changes that they were doing, and now it's like not even what Halo.
It's pretty rough, isn't it? Because similar to what I was talking about with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, right? You had just like this great arc that plays out over 3 games, compelling story, you gave a fuck about the characters, everything like that. Same thing happened with Halo, right? You had Halo 1, 2, and 3, and similar sort of deal, but you add stakes. Like, and the stakes were, who were they? The Covenant were trying to turn on the rings, right? Terrible shit. And, some really nuanced developments that, play in there too. The Flood are a thing. They're fucking shit up. Members of the Covenant, like, break off and, join the good guys. Like, yeah, it was absolutely crazy. It was nuts. It was an excellent set of games, an excellent story. And then, yeah, like, how do you follow that on? Yes, you have a rich universe and everything like that, but how do you keep your players engaged and, caring? COD definitely struggled with that, with their, later titles and everything like that. Halo absolutely have as well, of course. But yeah, like, rather than return to their roots, like what Call of Duty have done recently, Halo have just kept on pushing forward with, different things, I guess. So
one thing... Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that was the end of my thought.
Oh, sorry. I don't know much about the modern Halos. I played the first 3 and they were fantastic. But one thing I have seen a lot of online is that esports for Halo is absolutely in the craziest uproar I've seen ever, because they were all like playing all these challenges and replaying everything ready for the launch, and now it's been delayed so many times they're really pissed about it.
Yeah.
The esports side of it is going bad.
Oh, yeah, and that was another thing. Thank you for reminding me. Actually, I'd totally forgotten to mention where the esports side of Halo is at. If you compare, okay, so CS:GO esports,
Yes.
alive and well. Like, everybody talks about the CS:GO esports rosters today. Rainbow Six, same deal. Call of Duty, something as trivial as a server issue during an online competition, and Call of Duty ends up trending on Twitter. Like, yeah, everyone's very much invested in a lot of these esports and everything like that. Overwatch, you know, like the list goes on in terms of just games that are alive and well today. And then Halo esports is just not in a really good shape.
No.
Yeah, there are fewer and fewer orgs with actual Halo esports rosters, such as how significant the game isn't. And then, yeah, when you, as you just pointed out, when you have a delay in the new release of the game, it hurts. And the people it hurts is actually the esports orgs and players and athletes and everything like that who have been sticking by it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're the people that
Big
deserve to
fan.
be hurt the least. But they're the ones that cop it the most, unfortunately. But yeah, so if for no other reason, the esports side of things with Halo, another just factor here which points to it. As much as I don't want to admit it, I love Halo. Don't get me wrong. Even though I'm a PlayStation guy, I've told everybody this before. I bought an Xbox 360 just so that I could play Halo on it. Like, and that was it. Like, that's how much I like Halo. Yeah, but it doesn't look good right now. If you were to pick any FPS alive today, and say, okay, one's dead tomorrow, that would be the one that I say. And now
Like
let's
I
all
said, I
go
don't know
curl
much
up and
about
cry.
recent Halo, but with everything that's been said, I'm agreeing with you both.
Yeah, it does me bad. Like, seriously, I just want to curl up in a fetal position under this desk and like just wait it all out before, like until it's over, and then it gets revived somehow by another studio. But yeah, hey, Microsoft, if you're watching this, like, don't give up. Like, keep doing good things or whatever it is you're doing with Halo. I hope one day. Harlot and Demons in chat. Cyberpunk, yeah, exactly. We've been waiting 7 years for Cyberpunk. Look, I don't know. I think we get it this year, guys. Cyberpunk 2020. Like, let's make it go. Let's make it happen. Like, just pressure CD Projekt Red into giving us this game finally. Where's Keanu Reeves? Is he on Twitter? Like, let's at him. Let's make sure that happens. Honest to God, I don't think I can wait till next year for that game. Everybody's been waiting 7 years for Cyberpunk. We need to play it. We need to play Cyberpunk, guys.
We do.
In the meantime,
What I saw.
Sorry.
What I saw, the open world, all CG, but it looked beautiful, and I wanted it, but now we have to wait, unfortunately.
Yeah, and when we do get it, we're not going to have the wall crawling feature.
Nope.
What I have a feeling it'll be added in a later patch. But yeah, anyway, speaking of wall crawling, not really related at all, but thinking about games that we can play today. There's two in particular that tickle a lot of people's fancy. They're very, very similar. But yeah, I don't know. I hear a lot of people playing one or the other. And I wanted to ask you guys this. Terraria or Stardew Valley?
Well, I can give you my answer. I will say firsthand, neither of them never had the opportunity to play. I do Stardew Valley because I saw a short, and that's actually why I wanted.
Yeah, we can't quite hear you, dude. You've gone a bit robot. While we're waiting for Ssrenna, Branch.
Me, personally, I have played the absolute death out of Terraria. I've played it through on console. I rebought it on a second console so I could play with my wife. I rebought it when I moved over to PC gaming. I have played it through and through and through thousands, like so many times over. Different builds, different approaches, everything. I've played it a lot, like hundreds of hours have gone into that. But Stardew Valley, I've not even touched. I literally played it 20 minutes, and because I don't know whether it was because I was already die-hard Terraria or whether it just was something different about it, I've never gone back to it. But Terraria, I can go back to, like right now, I could pick it up and play. When I used to work in the motor trade, I used to get home at night, play with my wife, and like we'd sit playing, gaming away, and my daughter would come down from upstairs and we'd be like, "What are you doing up at this time?" She's like, "I'm ready for school." I'm like, "Shit." Open the curtains, and we played right through the night. Many nights over, she was like ready for school. And I'm like, "Shit, I got to get ready for work." And I've done like days. It just sucks you in. It's fantastic.
Gee.
That's the sign of a game that you love.
It is. I just got stuck with it. Suck it in. Definitely.
Ssrenna, have we got you back? I do want to actually hear your answer.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
Hang on. Let me
Okay,
see.
that's a little bit better. As you said, hang on.
What about now?
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
That's good. That's good now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna say I've never played either of them, but I've always been wanting to get Stardew Valley. I've seen Short Sleeve played on his stream. I've actually watched some YouTube videos, and like what I take from it is I like the graphics that it has. It's got its nice peaceful music. It seems very cheerful. It seems like you can go on an adventure. It doesn't really have a time limit. You can kind of just do your own thing with like mining and like farming, and like you can go into life and then go back into the farm life and adventure. Just looks like that's definitely that like I want to pick up myself when I have the.
Sure. Yeah, I've played neither of them either. So I'm intrigued by your answer, Branch, actually. So you played Terraria first. Is that right? You played Terraria
Yes.
first. And
I
you were
played
like,
Terraria.
Yeah.
And it blew me away. It was before I'd never played Minecraft, anything like that. No mining kind of survival-y games. And that just absolutely sucked me in. We would spend nights, like the wife would like be building these crazy things, and I'd be like, "What do you need? Go!" And I'd go off for an hour, find all these materials, bring them back to her, and I'd come back and there'd be like this massive castle. And I was like, "Whoa, what's next?" We kind of did like a team thing. But then when I picked up Stardew Valley because someone mentioned it to me as being similar, I don't know whether it was because I had picked up so much knowledge and love for Terraria that I suddenly knew nothing kind of thing, or whether it was. I wonder whether if I'd have played Stardew first, would it have had the same effect, but the other way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's why I was curious about it, because yeah, you've tried both, and then you're like, oh, what's this, and kind of tossed Stardew aside. But yeah, and the interesting thing is, the feedback I've had from Stardew players, and they are in our community as well. They tend to play Stardew Valley and not Terraria. Like, you know, it's not that they hate Terraria, but yeah, they'd rather play Stardew. So I'm just like, boy, which one do I play? Because I've played neither. And the interesting thing about it is, so in terms of like graphical quality, you know, these aren't exactly revolutionary games, right? They're very, very basic, but very, very effective, like gameplay wise. So I play a game like Ark Survival Evolved, right? So I don't know, not like the most visually amazing game, but very, very fun premise. You know, you mine for things that's, you know, it's a survival game, there's dinosaurs, like what more could you want? And then I have people who say, Coop, you should play Terraria, or Coop, you should play Stardew. And I'm just like, brah, like, which is it? Which do I play? What I hear is you have more co-op opportunity in Terraria.
I would say if you're going to try either or both, don't do what I did and go all out on one. I'd say give them like some time each before getting way sucked into one and just dismissing the other. Because for all I know, Stardew could be like the so amazing, but I just can't engage with it. I've tried a couple times, and each time it doesn't grab me.
Well, someone correct me on this. So the premise is this: in Stardew Valley, you have a farm.
Yes. From what I've seen, you have a farm in Stardew Valley. Like you can plant things,
And then
or you have multiple farms, something like that.
you just like you're running your farm or something. And then in Terraria, you just in the world and you just do whatever you want, sort of deal.
There is a kind of, don't get me wrong, it's not linear in the slightest, but in terms of boss progression it is, because like obviously higher tier weapons come from higher tier bosses and things.
Oh, sure.
But the only real progression to the game is gaining NPCs and killing the bosses. The rest of that is you're just plonked on the surface of the earth with one little dude who gives you the very basics of how to build a house, and then that's it. There's no direction, there's no lore as such. There's the most minor lore ever, the world's infected, that's it. That's the whole lore of the entire game. So then you basically have to find it yourself through encountering things and thinking, right, what do I have to do to overcome this thing that can suddenly, I was killing spiders and now there's a massive flying thing that's shooting the shit out of me, so I need some long range or some spells or something. And you have to go into the world similar to Minecraft Archy, dig up a load of ores, items, smelt them, forge them, that kind of thing, and just kind of up your level every time. It just gets addictive. You kill one thing and then you don't know where you're going from there. There's no narrative of where to go. You encounter the next thing after exploring and you're like, shit, this one can, I don't know, spam fire attacks. So you're like, right, I need something for fire. And then you end up like looking at hell, fire, brimstone, forging, all that kind of, and it just goes up tiers and tiers and tiers, and you end up getting completely lost in it. But there is no story or narrative or direction. It's just you.
Yeah, and what I have heard is it does help if you haven't played it before to actually jump in and sort of be online with somebody who has, so that they can kind of show you the ropes a bit.
I agree and disagree. I agree completely. Yes, you need a sense of direction, and it doesn't. Some things don't make sense. Like you can't smell everything, but you need to melt it. So there's things that are a little bit kind of janky in setup, but they work. It makes sense when you figure it out. But at the same time, you don't want to go in somewhere similar to how I did with Pokemon Yellow and have someone drop you some high tier shit, because you're going to miss out on all the low level bosses, all the low, getting into it.
Sure. Oh, well, that's the same with like any sort of game like that. You don't just want someone to take out your early game experience.
Someone more with low level easy stuff that they can one shot. So like they don't want to show you. Yeah, so they don't want to show you, well, you can kill this giant bumble, because they'll just be like, dead.
Yeah.
You don't want all that. They're trying to be
100%.
So balance of a player who's going to do that with you, and at the deep end, like, look how cool this amazing light show of explosions is. Then
yeah, gotcha. Well, I mean that's a benefit to playing offline as opposed to streaming. I find a lot of people that will want to play with you initially on stream definitely do want to show off that cool shit, because everyone's watching. So content versus quality of gameplay sometimes. But yeah, that's interesting. Ssrenna,
Yes.
on the other side of things, Stardew, correct me if I'm wrong, Stardew is you could just do that by yourself. You could just play, and then you can have your friend jump in and vibe out, and that's fun
It's
too.
kind of the way that I can best describe it. It kind of has like a Animal Crossing feel to it,
Oh man.
where you get to plan everything, and then you get to go to different towns, and talk to different people. I mean, I haven't played it, but like from what I've seen, it looks really fun, and I know a lot of people that I know play that game more than the other one, so that's why I'm more towards getting that one first, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like it definitely seems like more laid back and casual as opposed to that Terraria experience.
Plus, they don't have the there's no time limit, so you can do things whenever you want, or like you don't have to like leave at a certain point and lose a bunch of stuff. You come back and it's just right there, like when you left it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, so, like, I don't really know. I've watched people stream Stardew Valley. It seems like you kind of just vibe out in the same place, as opposed to with, like, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, you have, like, your own little island or whatever, and then you have things on your island that are different to someone else's island. And so that encourages, connectivity that way, because it's like, oh, I've got all these peaches, like, but I need some pears. Um, so yeah, I'm obviously not a part of that community, but that seems to be how they interact on the likes of Reddit and whatnot. Um, so like that's how they go. Yeah, just it doesn't seem like you benefit as much from interactivity in Stardew Valley because it is such a casual experience. Like you literally just you invite someone else to play with you because you want someone's company or whatever. Yeah, we seem to have lost Branch. I think the YouTube bears got him.
I was wondering what happened.
Yeah,
I just thought he was being quiet the whole time because I saw his like little box and it was me and you were talking and it was kind of quiet. So I was like, is he just kind of listening?
the YouTube bear is fucked with his router. I've just been informed the YouTube bear has messed with his router. Oh, that's weird. Because we were kind of on the verge of wrapping up anyway. So hopefully we get him back on before we do. But damn, Branch, YouTube bear, why did the YouTube bear mess with Branch's router? Like guys, anyone know? Oh, here you are. Why did you mess with Branch's router?
Oh, it sounds like he's back. Maybe? No?
Maybe. Hard to tell.
I don't know.
Do you have a reason? No. You just mess with things, like, because you want to, don't you? Yeah, I thought so. All right. Well, Branch, if you're trying to get back on, we might just call it all in there. Sorry that we can't hear you right now, my guy. But, hey, as I was saying, we were planning on wrapping up now anyway. Oh, he's back! He's back! Oh!
My child unplugged my router.
Yeah, you blame the child. I blame the YouTube bear. I was just saying we were going to wrap up anyway, my guy. But, hey, I'm glad that you're back on so that I can say a special thank you for getting up this morning. I mean, thank you for getting up any morning, but thank you for getting up this morning and joining us here in the Raptor Pen. Can I get a sexy shout out in chat once again for Gildedbranch? I call you Branch. I think Kasha and I call you Branch, both of us in our streams.
You do. That's the origins of my name. Like, my last name is Brant, and it got misheard on the original Xbox, and someone called me Branch, and then it just kind of flowed. And then when I went to streaming, Branch was taken, so I wanted to like embellish it, so I went for a literal embellishment, and now it's Gildedbranch. That's how I came about.
It's funny how much that happens. You have like your tag or whatever, and then you come to Twitch and you go to start your channel and everything like that, and someone else has got your name somehow. We had an awesome streamer on a few weeks ago called OmniStrike, and same thing happened to him. His tag on Twitch actually has an X in front of it, even though everybody, including myself, just call him OmniStrike and his name's OmniStrike. Somebody else had taken OmniStrike. I don't think they stream anymore, but yeah, same sort of deal. Branch, the legend, the man, the guy that we all know and love, thanks to his amazing performance here on the podcast today. Also, thank you so much for the bitty bits, Care Bear Stan. Clearly, they're happy to see you, Branch. So, absolutely recommend, if nobody has done that yet, jump in, follow that guy so that you can see when he's streaming. He mentioned his schedule earlier, but guys, you only, he does stream on a weekend. That's when I tend to catch him streaming Dark Souls. Very good player of the game. A lot of people aren't. Most people aren't, yes. In fact. Can recommend going and checking him out. Follow him so that you actually know when he's going live. It's the same way you guys know how I'm going live. Let's be fair about it. Yeah, sure, I have a regular streaming schedule, but occasionally I put my GoPro on it and climb a fucking mountain. which is exactly what I did yesterday. So, case in point, follow Branch, check his stream out, absolutely recommend it. Thank you so much for joining us today, my guy. And also, don't forget, guys, our favorite, EGN Ssrenna. Girl, like, if you're like looking down to do your shout out, I'm not going to make you do that. I'm just going to do it myself. But again, fam, thank you so much for joining us once again in the Raptor Pen. I don't know why you keep on coming back, but you do, and I love and appreciate you for it. What have you got on this week? Like, what can we expect on your channel?
Well, it all depends on where everything is going, with everything else going on right now. Like, I'm thinking about playing some more Minecraft and maybe, like, making a whole, like, open world server. I was doing that at first, but then I kind of went back and I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more special and unique for everyone. So that's one thing I wanted to do. But then there's a couple other things I'm thinking about doing. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be more, if it's going to be more just chatting. I guess it all depends on, like, what I have going during that time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And, it's often like a piece of feedback that I would provide is, it is important to sort of work on that content outside of Twitch and and then, get in and, stream when you're all good on the outside, if that sort of makes sense. I don't know. Yeah. I myself have a very unique sort of situation where most of my following actually is on Twitch. So I have to do things a little bit differently. But for the most part, it's actually really smart that that's how you run things, Ssrenna. So, hey, keen to see all of that stuff come out as it does arrive. Keen to see you back in here another time, as always. But in the meantime, hey, keep on vibing out, girl. Really appreciate you. And yeah, that's her in chat. I managed to get it right 2 times in a row. So, hey, go me. By Dark and Ssrenna. Branch, your name is Dark now, just letting you know. Thanks for that, Care Bear. We just created a meme. But no, guys, once again, special thank you to both of you. I'm going to let you guys go and wrap this bad boy up. Enjoy the rest of your days. Ssrenna, you're going to sleep. Branch, you're up and probably drinking more coffee. And hey.
Yeah.
Catch you guys next time one of us is online, undoubtedly. Meantime, keep vibing out. Please. Love you guys. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun time, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Technical difficulties aside, I enjoyed that. And you know what? When you're a content creator, look, problems happen. They happen almost every stream. There's something that happens. So, I mean, the lesson that you learn is this, guys. Don't freak out. Just, I don't know, keep rolling. Figure out a workaround, and you'll be all good. Like, I don't know. Am I the best with dealing with technical difficulties? No. I'd like to think that I'm not the worst. But yeah, all the same, great couple of guests that we had on with us today. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've got to this point, you must have enjoyed it. So, hey, appreciate you. Guys, I don't really have anything else to say. I kind of had my rant at the start. So, yeah, if you tuned in then you would have caught that. If you didn't, then I guess you can just watch this on YouTube and watch it back or whatever. All the same, guys, what I do want to find is somebody that deserves our love. Who might that be? Let's see, who is online right now that might like a sexy raid from us beautiful people? Who might enjoy that? Let's see, we've got... we haven't raided Beth in a while, and she's playing Call of Duty. So that could be fun. Playing Call of Duty. We've been talking about Call of Duty today, so yeah, let's give Beth a raid, guys. That'll be as I said, that'll be absolute fun. Thank you so much for those of you sharing us in bits today. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you to those of you who have followed. I'm not sure if you know what you've followed, but we're fucking insane here. But we've got legendary vibes. So if you want to jump into the Discord, go and hang out with us in there. I will be back on again Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, as per the usual. Not sure if we'll play Skyrim or Fall Guys at this point. We'll see. But before I do go, guys, just want to remind you of this. You matter, and you add value to other people's lives, all right? If you're new here, I obviously don't know what's going on with you, where you're at, what you've done, and I don't need to, because if you're here hanging out with us, or if you're watching this video right now, guess what? You matter to me, okay? And if you're watching this right now, guess what? Just now, you have added value to my life. So thank you so very much. As always, guys, my name is Coop. You guys call me the Velociraptor. Peace. Let's go say hi to Beth.